We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Raheem Mayers, not guilty of the
Welcome to Buzzed Celebs, your premier source for unfiltered celebrity headlines, explosive controversies, and behind-the-scenes stories that other outlets barely scratch the surface of. Today, we're diving back into the intense saga of ASAP Rocky, the fashion-forward rapper who recently stood trial in Los Angeles on felony assault charges. This case has been a roller coaster from the start, with outrageous rumors, emotional courtroom showdowns, and even Rihanna, yes, the Rihanna, caught in the crossfire. But just when everyone thought ASAP Rocky might be facing a grim fate, breaking news has shattered all expectations. In a newly surfaced courtroom video, a jury's verdict declares Rocky not guilty on all charges. That's right. The months-long tension, the swirling speculation, and the worst-case scenarios have all been turned on their head. The reality is that ASAP Rocky walks away free, and this landmark outcome has sparked a massive reaction across social media, mainstream news, and within the hip-hop world itself. So how did we get here? What led to these dramatic charges in the first place? And why did so many people, including Rihanna, fear that Rocky might be locked away for decades? We'll recap the entire saga, from the alleged showdown with ex-friend ASAP Relli, to the questionable evidence that got fans shaking their heads, to the final day in court where everything came together in one jaw-dropping moment. Strap in, because we're about to break down every stunning detail of how ASAP Rocky beat the odds, and how Rihanna is reacting now that the man she loves is finally in the clear. Before we reveal the moment that changed everything, let's rewind to the beginning where this chaos first started. The initial shock hit when news broke that Raheem Mayers, the man the world knows as ASAP Rocky, was slapped with 2 felony charges of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. From the jump, it sounded dire. Firing a gun at someone can earn you up to 20 years behind bars in California's famously strict legal system. The swirling headlines left fans in disbelief. Had Rocky really risked everything he'd built? The controversy escalated quickly, especially when a judge set the trial date and denied any attempts by the defense to dismiss or lower the charges early on. From the outside, it seemed like we were heading toward a classic celebrity courtroom circus. And then there was the spectre of Rihanna, the superstar singer, fashion mogul, and mother to Rocky's children, who found herself unexpectedly dragged into the spotlight. Photos of Rihanna stepping into the Los Angeles courthouse became instant viral sensations, with tensions running high and every new development splashed across the internet. Fans worried that a conviction might tear this power couple apart. The possibility of Rocky spending decades in prison wasn't just a tabloid rumor. It was a frightening reality if the jury found him guilty. But how did we get to this point, and who started calling the shots? Literally, it all ties back to a crumbling friendship inside the ASAP mob. To understand this case, you have to explore the ASAP mob, a Harlem-based collective known for pushing boundaries in music, art, and fashion. ASAP Rocky was one of the breakout stars from the crew, eventually eclipsing many of his contemporaries with hits like Peso and Problems, plus a string of high-profile fashion collaborations. Among the lesser-known members was ASAP Relli, real name Terrell Efron, who isn't a big-name rapper, but still part of the group's close-knit circle. According to rumours and partial confirmations, tensions boiled over after the tragic death of another ASAP mob member. The group allegedly expected Rocky, as the wealthiest ASAP member, to step up financially for funeral expenses. When some within the mob felt Rocky didn't come through, resentments formed, and cracks within the clique started to show. This friction festered until November 2021, when Relli and Rocky scheduled a face-to-face meet in Hollywood, allegedly to squash the beef. Somewhere during that confrontation, an argument erupted. Relli claimed Rocky brandished a gun and fired, grazing his knuckles. For a while, the incident remained murky, with no immediate police involvement. By the time Relli did come forward to law enforcement, days after the fact, the story had grown complicated. No initial shell casings found, shaky CCTV footage that cut off at critical moments, and Relli's insistence that he was nearly killed. Fans were instantly skeptical. If someone shoots at you, the natural instinct is to call the police right away, right? Why the delay? And how did Relli eventually find shell casings that LAPD investigators missed? One side said it was a straightforward assault, the other labelled Relli a money-hungry traitor. The truth lay somewhere in that messy middle. Little did we know, this would become one of the most unusual courtroom battles in recent celebrity memory. The trial officially kicked off, and everything about it was dramatic. Jury controversy. The first alarm bell was the jury selection. Out of the dozens of potential jurors, not one was black, leading to accusations that Rocky might be judged by people far removed from his cultural background. Even Reverend Al Sharpton chimed in, calling for scrutiny of the process. Social media lit up with debates about systemic bias, wondering whether Rocky was about to be railroaded. Sketchy evidence. Next came the bizarre evidence chain. Relli only turned over shell casings to the police days after the fact. Critics argued that chain of custody procedures were far from ideal, fueling speculation that the evidence might have been planted or tampered with. The prosecution insisted everything was legitimate, revealing ballistic reports that claimed the bullet fragments matched a semi-automatic firearm. Judge and courtroom antics. Then there were odd whispers that the trial judge was unusually friendly with Rocky's mother. Some onlookers joked that the judge might be starstruck, while others thought it was harmless respect. Regardless, it fed into the tabloid narrative that this was the weirdest celebrity trial in years. And that was just the beginning. The prosecution's star witness, ASAP Relli, seemed flustered at times, contradicting himself on the stand. Rocky's defense hammered home that Relli was motivated by jealousy and greed, pointing to major inconsistencies and emphasizing the shaky timeline. At the heart of all this was Rihanna, quietly supporting Rocky from the gallery, famously stoic in the face of paparazzi cameras, but reportedly very anxious in private. People close to the couple hinted that she was terrified about losing her partner and raising their children alone if a guilty verdict came down. Yet no one, not even the loudest voices in the media, predicted what would happen in that final moment of the trial. Anyone who knows Rihanna knows she's typically unflappable. She's navigated controversies in her own career and risen as a powerhouse entrepreneur with Fenty Beauty and Savage X Fenty. But when it comes to the people she loves, she's deeply protective. Being present in the courtroom, hearing attorneys throw around the possibility of 20+ years in prison, reportedly took a real toll on her. Airport arrest. Flashback. Let's not forget the dramatic moment in 2022 when Rocky was arrested at LAX right in front of a very pregnant Rihanna. The shock left her and the world stunned. Stress and anxiety. Insiders say Rihanna experienced bouts of anxiety leading up to this trial, worried that all the stress could affect her pregnancy or postpartum well-being. Unwanted spotlight. The camera crews waiting outside the courthouse captured every flicker of emotion. A single tear or a fleeting frown from Rihanna would launch 1,000 clickbait headlines. Yet through it all, she publicly maintained her composure, quietly attending proceedings and offering unwavering moral support to Rocky. If there was any silver lining, it was that fans rallied around her, flooding social media with messages like "Free ASAP Rocky" and "We stand with Rihanna." But Rihanna's not the only big name speaking out. Wait until you hear how other celebs reacted, drawing parallels to another recent high-profile shooting case. From the moment the charges became public, fans and commentators drew lines between Rocky's ordeal and the saga of Tory Lanez, who received a 10-year sentence for firing at Megan Thee Stallion. Similarities included a celebrity defendant, allegations of a firearm discharge, and intense public scrutiny. Tory Lanez parallels. At first, some believed Rocky might suffer the same fate, worrying that if there was enough circumstantial evidence, the jury could convict him, much like Tory Lanez. Others maintained the key difference. Rocky's alleged victim wasn't a global superstar like Megan Thee Stallion, so media sympathy might slant differently. 50 Cent's take. Ever the outspoken mogul, 50 Cent dubbed ASAP Relli a snake after discovering Relli had old outstanding warrants and raising doubts about his testimony. He insisted Relli was in it for the money and predicted the case might fall apart. Other hip-hop icons. On social media, various rappers posted cryptic messages or memes. Some hinted they believed Rocky was innocent, while others stayed neutral, adopting a let the courts decide stance. For a while, this trial felt like a slow-motion train wreck, with every new rumor, piece of evidence, or questionable statement fueling speculation that Rocky could see actual prison time. And even with the best lawyers money can buy, California's firearm laws are notoriously stringent. But now that we know the final verdict, let's discuss what was truly at stake for ASAP Rocky before the jury decided his fate. In the days leading up to the verdict, the media ran wild with doomsday scenarios. A 24-year sentence? The maximum penalty for assault with a semi-automatic firearm in California can be up to 24 years behind bars. Legal experts often say celebrity defendants rarely get the max, but even half that time would upend Rocky's entire future. Career fallout. If convicted, Rocky risked losing brand endorsements, collaborations, and major touring opportunities. He's not just any rapper, he's a global style icon, revered in the fashion world. A felony record could have barred him from traveling internationally, effectively ending the scale of his career. Impact on Rihanna faced the thought of raising her children without Rocky, juggling her billion-dollar empire while also supporting him from behind prison walls. Stress alone can break a relationship, and the paparazzi would have hounded her relentlessly with invasive questions. ASAP Mob legacy. The group soared to fame largely on Rocky's mainstream crossover appeal. Had he been locked away, the brand might have crumbled, tarnished by ongoing feuds and the downfall of its brightest star. Rocky even rejected a plea deal, which many fans saw as a massive gamble. On one hand, it might have kept him out of jail, but on the other, it guaranteed a felony conviction, something that could haunt him for the rest of his life. The gamble evidently was a risk worth taking. Still, with everything that happened, no one truly expected the final day in court to unfold the way it did, until a short video surfaced, capturing the jury's thunderous announcement. After weeks of arguments, cross-examinations, and swirling rumors, it all came down to the jury's decision. Spectators packed the Los Angeles Superior Court to hear the foreperson read the verdict. A hush fell over the room. Even the prosecution appeared tense. And then, in a matter of seconds, the entire narrative flipped. Below is the transcribed excerpt from the short video now making rounds online. You can hear the formality and finality in the judge's words, punctuated by bursts of applause and relief. The Los Angeles Superior Court, County of Los Angeles, People of the State of California versus Rakim Mayers, case number BA 814201. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant Rakim Mayers not guilty. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant Rakim Mayers not guilty in violation of Penal Code Section 245BA on charging count 1 of the information this 18th day of February 2025. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant Rakim Mayers not guilty in violation of Penal Code Section 245BA, charging count 2 of the information this 18th day of February 2025. During this trial, I watched you, the jury, periodically. You did what we asked of you at the very beginning, which is to give both sides a fair trial, pay attention, use your common sense, apply the law, and base your verdict on the evidence. The judge then thanked the jury for their diligence, noting how seriously they took their role. The sense of relief from Rocky's corner was palpable. Some spectators even described seeing Rihanna's eyes brim with tears of joy and relief. The gloom that hung over the couple for months disappeared in a single moment. So, with the official verdict not guilty, what does this mean for ASAP Rocky, Rihanna, and everyone else caught in this tumultuous whirlwind? Rocky's triumphant return. No longer burdened by potential prison time, Rocky can focus on reclaiming his musical spotlight. Expect new tracks, possibly referencing his ordeal, and a surge in live performances. Brands that might have hesitated to collaborate with him will likely flock back, eager to capitalize on the wave of publicity. Rihanna's emotional relief. The ever-poised superstar reportedly couldn't hide her happiness once the verdict was announced. Insiders say she feels an enormous weight lifted off her shoulders. The couple can now refocus on their family life and their respective empires without the constant threat of jail time looming over them. ASAP mob tensions. The rift with ASAP. Relli seems irreparable. The collective might remain fractured, or perhaps other members will rally around Rocky now that he's vindicated. Regardless, this trial exposed deep-seated disputes that won't vanish overnight. Possible civil actions. While Rocky is free from criminal liability, Relli could still attempt a civil lawsuit. Not guilty verdicts don't necessarily bar a plaintiff from pursuing damages. Whether Relli's credibility has been too damaged by this trial remains to be seen. Industry reaction. Many hip-hop figures, from 50 Cent to various producers and peers, have applauded the verdict, insisting it validates Rocky's long-standing claim of innocence. Yet some commentators argue that the trial left critical questions unanswered about how the alleged confrontation with Relli actually went down. In the end, it's a massive legal victory. Rocky's gamble paid off, and the risk of a 20-year sentence is gone for good. For Rihanna and Rocky's fans, it's a moment to celebrate and breathe a sigh of relief, while critics wonder if the aftermath might bring new drama, especially if Relli decides to keep pushing his story. But for now, let's talk about what this means for the future and how the entire ordeal wrapped up on a note that nobody fully expected. So there you have it. After months of swirling speculation, tense courthouse appearances, and dire predictions, ASAP Rocky is officially not guilty. The newly released video from the Los Angeles Superior Court shows the exact moment the jury's decision was read, an emotional, high-stakes climax to a trial that tested the boundaries of loyalty, evidence, and the unstoppable power of public opinion. Where does that leave us? For ASAP Rocky, it's a chance to rebuild and even expand his already impressive platform. For Rihanna, the ordeal ends with a sense of relief so profound that fans worldwide are cheering on the couple's renewed stability. For ASAP Relli and the rest of the ASAP mob, the verdict might drive an even bigger wedge or spark some behind-the-scenes negotiations. Only time will tell. What do you think? Do you believe justice was served by the not guilty verdict? Will ASAP Rocky's career surge now that the charges are off the table? Could we see a civil suit from Relli, or is this saga finally over? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear every angle, whether you've supported Rocky from day one or think there's more beneath the surface. If you found this deep dive riveting, go ahead and smash that thumbs up and subscribe to Buzzed Celebs. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a single update on the biggest celebrity dramas and revelations. We'll be back soon with even more stories you won't believe until you see the receipts. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, stay curious and stay buzzing.